I'm going to videotape this tonight and I'm going to upload it in the morning. I want to talk about something before I turn in for the night. Memorabilia. So, this Vancouver Canucks locker room thing I've had since the late 90s. Same with the Dallas Stars one, the Boston one there. This Atlanta dealie, I got that a few years ago. How? It was on sale. Atlanta wasn't around anymore. Nobody wanted Atlanta stuff. That's seriously the truth. Nobody wanted Atlanta Thrashers merchandise. So I cleaned up on it. Back when the New York Islanders went to the Fisherman jersey, I never had a chance to buy a Fisherman jersey, but I got Fisherman jersey merchandise when it came out. And after they switched back to the regular logo 1 year after bringing out the Fisherman jerseys and logo, I made sure I got as much stuff as I could, and I've still got it. Now, the reason I mention this is because we have we've turned a corner where the throwing of jerseys onto the ice, the burning of jerseys is a thing, and it's weird to me, and it doesn't make any sense to me. And I'm wearing my Canuck gear because I'm talking as a Canucks fan. I I was witness to the Canucks in the 80s when their best player was Petri Skriko or Tony Tanti, and starting goalie was Richard Brodeur. And the results weren't good. This was a team that would get 59 points in a season 2 years in a row. This is a team that would win 23 games, 24 games out of 80. This was a team that routinely didn't just lose, they lost big. Then the Burry era starts. It's remembered as the Burry era, but really the way I look at it is it's the winning era with Courtnall, Ronning, London, McLean and net, Lume on the point. A lot of good things happening. But when the 94 final came around and then that era passed, very quickly the team progressed to mediocrity and then to oblivion with Mike Keenan behind the bench and Mark Messier standing there as the captain. Captain of the ship as she goes down, nose down into the water. At no point as a fan have I ever considered destroying merchandise of a team I cheer for. At no point have I ever even considered giving away merchandise of a team I cheer for. Handing it off, throwing it away. Because I know this is all cyclical. When I see somebody take merchandise and burn it, take merchandise and throw it, take merchandise and say, I'm done, I'm never going to support this team again, I go, yeah, you will. Because they always do. And I say that as somebody who, in my 40s, I've seen it. I've seen people say, I'm never supporting the Canucks again. No, they're a bunch of bums. I'm never supporting them again. And that's after they either don't make the playoffs or they get eliminated in the first round, second round. Whenever they get eliminated, they get eliminated. And it's, we're done. We're done. I'm never gonna cheer for them again. Nope. I was talking with my friends. They're never gonna cheer for them again either. We don't care. They can move the team for all we care. It's like, And then, 6 months, maybe a year later, maybe not even that long, maybe 5 months later, that same person would walk up to me, whether it's at work or school or whatever setting we're talking about now, and they'd be like, did you see that Canucks game last night? They're playing really well right now. I don't know what to think. I know I said I'd never cheer for them again, but that was a really good game, and I'm thinking, yeah, you really showed them, didn't you? And in a Canadian market, if the strategy is to stay away, to say, all right, well, we're not going to support the team. It goes on with Ottawa, where there's Ottawa fans that say, well, we just don't buy tickets to go out and support the team because we don't like the owner, so we're just not going to support the team. To which I think, okay, I can understand not going to watch them lose. I know when the Canucks have been bad, there have been times where I could have afforded to go see a Canucks game, and I'm like, well, it's going to cost me X amount of dollars, and then it's this amount of hours out of the day, and then they're going to lose, probably spectacularly, so I'm spending a ton of money just for self-punishment. So I can understand the part where people say, I'm just not going to go. Okay, I can get that. I can get behind that idea, especially with ticket prices being as big as they are. But I'm telling you, when I see that merchandise hit the ice, it doesn't matter what it is. Even on hat tricks in the zone. There are times with hat tricks where I get close to the TV and I'm like, that's a fantastic hat. Ooh, that one cost them $50. That one cost them $40. Because, I'm always shopping for hats. This one, just as an argument's sake, I paid 15 for it. So I am very cheap. I am cheap with everything. I don't pay full price. With hats and with jerseys, I don't pay full price. There's a reason I got half of the throwback hats that are in the series lids released, and then I stopped buying them because they weren't on sale anymore. They had a flash sale that week that those came out, and they were all 30% off. And I went, ooh, hey, 30% off, fantastic. Bought a bunch of them. Sale ended. I stopped buying them. And, I think about that cost because here's my thing. So you say, all right, let's just say I just got this today. So I got this nice Detroit Red Wings jersey that's pretty sharp. I got that one on sale. Also, yesterday, this one came, and this is the brand new third jersey of the New Jersey Devils. Under no circumstances should anybody be throwing either of these jerseys onto the ice. New Jersey's a team that's nowhere near the playoffs. Detroit's a team that's going through a rebuild. There is no reason ever to throw one of these absolute beauties on the ice. And I honestly, when I saw that the New Jersey Devils had a white third jersey, I said, finally somebody has a white third jersey and has decided to do something different. Never could I see a situation, because let's just say you're at a game and the Devils get destroyed 8-1. Okay, they lose 8-1. And it is a horrible game and it's been a rough season and you expected them to make the playoffs. This jersey hits the ice. I cry. Not literally, but part of me dies inside when I see that, because it's like, wow, that was probably $200 for them, or at least, $150 or $160, or if it was a Fanatic on sale, Fanatics might be $100. If it's a Chinese knockoff, whatever. That's fine. Chinese knockoffs, you throw them on the ice. But with the authentic stuff, the authentic jerseys, you're gonna buy it again. There's no way. Because if we circle back to the people that I've known over the years that have said they'll never cheer for the Canucks again, oh, I see them in Canucks gear again. Absolutely. Playoff time, whether it's at work or at school, I'd be on my way and I'd go, is he wearing a Canucks jersey? Seriously? Last year, never cheering for them again. Is that a new Canucks jersey? And that's what happens. So as angry as fans in certain locations, and right now we can talk about Ottawa, we can talk about Edmonton, and there's others too, other places that fans may be very angry with the way things are being run, with the way the organization's going, they'll buy a new one. So what you've said is, I paid $200 for this shirt. I'm going to throw it on the ice to make a statement. And then next year I'll probably end up having to buy another one because I won't have it anymore. I know when a Star Wars movies disappointed me. I'm talking about the prequels. I'm not getting into the Star Wars thing here. You'd have to go over to the entertainment channel to see on my Entertainment Guy channel how I feel about the Star Wars movies. Not a commonly held belief about the Star Wars movies that I share with other people. But when I was disappointed with those movies, I didn't come home and trash all my Star Wars stuff. I didn't start throwing out Star Wars comics and getting rid of Star Wars t-shirts and saying, anything I got that's Star Wars, I'm just going to throw it out. Because why? Because the other part of this is, at some point in time in your life, you had an emotional attachment to a team where you said, and my collection is clearly ridiculous, and for most people, they will have jerseys of teams they cheer for. So let's say you have the New Jersey Devils original jersey, not this throwback third, but you have the original from the late 80s. At some point in time, you had an emotional attachment to that team. They probably made you kind of proud the last time they went to the Stanley Cup final. Maybe you watched them win the Stanley Cup. As rough as things get, that's a symbol of your attachment to the team. And if you launch it over the glass, or you set it on fire, it's just... and I've said it before. If you want to set your jersey on fire, I have a post office box for Canada and for the States in the description for every video. I will gladly take the jersey, and I promise I'll burn it. Sure, yeah. I'll send you a picture of a fire and say, this is your jersey. And when you answer with, I think that's animated and I think that's the Springfield tire fire, I'll deny that. But, okay, like here's a good example. Here's a good example, right? So, Islanders Adidas, I only have the one. And it's Tavares. And after Tavares got traded, this jersey became dirt cheap. Oh, he didn't get traded. He became a free agent and went to Toronto. And the absolute anger and hatred with Tavares from fans of the Islanders is palpable. But give it a few years. Give it a few years. The hatred towards Tavares at this stage is nowhere near what it was. Because the Islanders are doing pretty well. And if he was there, there's no guarantee that they would be doing as well as they are. And I know that may sound crazy, but it's true. Sometimes a team plays better without its best player. That's the thing. Where you'll go, oh, this team's going great. And then the best player comes back from an injury and it all falls apart. And you're like, what the hell? And it's a chemistry thing. Right now, this team wearing this jersey has great chemistry. But because this name's on the back, this jersey is half the price of what I would pay to get it blank. So for me as a collector, I think, well, I'll risk people getting mad at me when I wear it in a video because I got it for half the price that it normally was. Less than that, actually. And eventually it's gonna fade. It's not gonna be a big deal. The only jerseys that I've had that I don't think that's happened with and probably never will is the Taylor Hall Edmonton Oilers jerseys. They are far more polarizing, and therefore I replaced one of the Taylor Hall jerseys with Edmonton's current Adidas. I consider that to have replaced the Reebok Taylor Hall. The other one I really can't replace because it's the orange Reebok. The orange one that I have of an Adidas, it's not the same design, so I don't want to get rid of the other Taylor Hall. But I could understand why an Oilers fan wouldn't want to wear their Taylor Hall jersey. But at the same time, you just get a new one. And I think when fans get really upset, I think it's all fine, but take a few steps back and take a few deep breaths. Because as bad as things look for some teams, it's not that far from being better. And I'll do a video soon, at some point soon, on organizations and when it was darkest for them. Like for instance with Pittsburgh, that would be before Lemieux got there. When there were rumors, there weren't just rumors, there was basically plans. Yeah, Pittsburgh's going to lose the team, they're going to move. Lemieux comes in, solidifies the fan base, and solidifies the franchise. Saved him, absolutely. And then he saved them again as an owner. And there is something to be said for the darkest time. Is it the darkest time right now for the Oilers? I think so. Because now they have that mega superstar, and they're struggling to build a team around him. And management's been an absolute disaster. But as bad as management can look, it can be turned around quickly. I point towards two teams in the East, the Toronto Maple Leafs and the New York Islanders. When they made the decision, we are going to fix this properly, both organizations did a great job fixing it. And I think the Oilers have the capability of doing that. Because Toronto was the butt of every joke for decades. So this isn't Oilers will always be a joke. Yeah, that's what we said about the Leafs during the Phil Kessel era. And then they won a draft lottery, and all of a sudden they're not a joke anymore. I remember when Mitch Marner was drafted, I was one of the many that said, really, Marner over Hanifin? That's a mistake. Nope. Absolutely wasn't. And they've made some really smart decisions. So Edmonton, as bad as it looks, as much as people might be like, I'm just getting rid of them, just gonna trash my stuff. And the reason I'm doing a video on it is because there was one comment that said that I don't know that frustration. I'm a Canucks fan. I know lots of frustration. I've seen the team I cheer for go to the Stanley Cup Finals 3 times. In 82, they got swept by the Islanders. In 94, Vancouver set the town on fire after Game 7. In 2011, Vancouver set the city on fire again after losing Game 7. Yeah, I sort of know the disappointment, because as bad as it's felt during the Messier era and during the 80s, it's kind of felt worse when they get to the Stanley Cup final, losing Game 7 and there's riots. And I'm going to make this clear. Vancouver would have rioted if they'd won the Stanley Cup. The riots had nothing to do with the results of the game at all. Zero. That was just we're drunk and we want to break some crap. That's what that was. And there were idiots mixed in with the drunks. And that's what happens in Vancouver on occasion. It's been known to happen. It doesn't have to be a hockey game. But, it helps, because then you get more idiots and drunks, and you get large masses of them together, and that's what happens. But there you go. Don't throw your crap away. Don't burn it. Take it from an old hockey fan, an old sports fan. I got Chargers gear here, and after they blew it against the Patriots, part of me said, you know what, I don't want to cheer for San Diego/LA anymore. I don't want to cheer for the Chargers. I am so tired of decades and decades and decades of this team not being good enough. But I had to talk myself out of getting rid of the Chargers gear, because Yvonne wouldn't have minded. She hates football. And say, you know what, just take a step back. You still love Phillip Rivers. You love what Drew Brees did when he was a member of the Chargers. And guys like Natrone Means and Antonio Gates. And don't focus on this, because as much as it sucks right now, it'll pass. And that's the advice I would give to fans that are going through it. It will pass. And sometimes it gets worse before it gets better, but it almost always gets better. As rough as it's been for so long in both Buffalo and Edmonton, there are signs for both franchises that there's a brighter future. And even if that means complete revamps of your management teams, that's the way it works. I think Buffalo went the right way when they changed their management team a couple seasons ago. I think that's helped them. It's going to take some time for them to become actual contenders. But I think there's a roster there. And for Edmonton, yeah, they don't have wingers and they don't have blue liners that you need to be a decent playoff team. But they're not that far out, because the West kind of sucks. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you've tossed, burned, given away items, and later said, I paid so much for that. Or, that meant something to me and I wish I hadn't done that. Let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And again, as much as I love hockey, as much as I love talking hockey with you fine people every day, it's just a sport. There are far more important things in life. And as much fun as it is to talk and watch hockey every day, there are other things that I do realize are more important than that. So I always take it with a grain of salt. And I want to add this at the end. I watch enough hockey now that I don't get mad anymore when a team I cheer for loses. I don't. It takes a lot. The only time that I get mad now is if a team I cheer for, if I don't think they actually made the effort. And I'm talking about Dallas against LA a couple weeks ago, where it felt like the effort just wasn't there. That's the only time I actually get mad. Team I cheer for loses, it happens. Like tonight, the Rangers beat Boston. I knew that was coming. As soon as Hedl tied it, I was like, yeah, this is not going to go Boston's way. And it's fine. That's just the way it works. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And hey, I'll talk to you again soon.